What is up, guys? D Black Tate here, bringing you guys another Guardian of the Witch discussion, and today we're going to be talking about Chapter 8. Later today, I'll be releasing the Chapter 9 review, and later this week, I will be doing a Guardian of the Witch discussion, just talking about some things over the series. Probably do like a little live stream, some like 30 minutes, some like 45 minutes, or something like that. Just talk about the series because I feel like it's a very interesting series. But nonetheless, let's get into Chapter 8. And in this chapter, we're going to be talking about the Top Hat Inventor. And we saw him in Chapter 7 after Fafnir, Nahata, and Manifasa. They were running away after beating the metal dude, the metal user Gin, and his witch. That was a really tough fight. That was a really dope fight. I really enjoyed that fight. It was pretty intricate, and it gave you some perspective on Gin and his witch, and I believe that they will be joining the group later on as characters. So there's that. But let's get into the Top Hat Inventor. So the Top Hat Inventor, he comes in at the end of Chapter 7 when they're running away from the little town they were at. And they ran into some evils, and the Top Hat Inventor, he just comes in with a mixture of some different roots and stuff, and he wipes out 4 giant evils, right? No problem. So he notices that Fafnir and Manifansa is going through this sickness. I forgot what the correct terminology is, but I'll make that correction in my later chapter review of Chapter 9. So let's get into Top Hat. So he's able to cure the illness of Manifansa. He says that it's like her spirit's going out of whack or something like that. The evil seed's expanding. So he's able to help stop the expansion of Manifansa's evil, right? So now we keep going, and we get to the Top Hat Inventor's home where he's staying. Manifansa's resting. And I just want to say that the Top Hat Inventor has such a good design. He has like a little neck beard, kind of. It goes down like the side of his like face and whatnot. It's pretty cool. He has these little like choppy little triangle like hair patches. He has his top hat, obviously. He has this bone cane that's really cool. But it's actually a sword. It looks like this might be his witch's hand, and we get a little bit more information on her in these next 2 chapters. But again, it's just 1 chapter review. So he has that. He has this skull necklace around his neck, right? And so he has that, and he's like, "Hey, yo, you guys come chill at my place." And so they get to his place, right? And this is where the story picks up. This is where I started to get interested in a Top Hat Inventor, is because he tells him, I got 2 choices, right? You guys look like the people from this newspaper, this wanted paper that's been put out by the city of Bern, and that's where they're originally from. They ran away and whatnot. And so he's like, I can either turn you in, or if you're strong enough, like you can just run away or whatever. But obviously Fafnir and Nahata, they're worried. They're like, oh, okay, this guy, he isn't just our protector. And I like how some little nuggets that he gave us in this chapter. He was like, oh, and I guess like his little personality trait, he's like, yeah, it might seem like I did all this stuff to protect you. I cured your witch. I saved y'all from the demons, I saved y'all from basically dying out there, and I'm giving you a nice place to rest up and warm up and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he's like, don't consider me like your friend, because I haven't decided of what I'm going to do with you yet. And so I really like that interesting thing about Drake. His name is Drake. He's pretty cool. He's interesting. So he goes out, and he's looking at the moon and whatnot. And I think that for him, this is the symbolization of him and his witch. I'm not sure of where he came I'm not sure of what his witch's capabilities were. We haven't gotten that yet. But it seems that he likes being outside at night. It seems that like the moonlight, especially from the last 2 chapters, it seems to correlate with the times he spent with his witch. It's like how he remembers her and whatnot. So Fafnir, he goes out there, he follows Drake, and he's like, if you're gonna betray us, I want to be right there when you decide to betray us so that I can defeat you. And this is where Drake shows up. He's like, ha ha, ah ha ha. See, you think you're strong, but you're not. And so he jumps off the top rope, or the top rope. He jumps off the mountain. He jumps down. He smashes Fafnir's head into the ground, and he tells him, "You're weak. You decided to put your witch, and her assistant, your two companions, in harm's way. You decided to run away from your hometown of Bern. You decided to put your witch in harm's way by fighting a tandem of a witch and guardian that you don't even know how to compete with yet, because they've just been in the tower firing off like magic attacks and destroying evils and whatnot. They don't know the complexities of what goes down in a witch and guardian battle." And he says that these were your decisions. You made these decisions, and while you were weak and wounded and your witch was going through this spirit issue and whatnot that was going on with her body, he tells him that you made all these decisions. You're weak. You're not strong enough to protect them. And if it wasn't for me, you'd all be dead. And so it makes Fafnir take a step back and make him realize, like, damn, I really did put everyone in harm's way. Like, I'm not a strong guardian. I'm not the guardian that I thought I was when he was in the city of Bern. And this goes to show the difference between strength that is out there in the world versus being in your coddled home, being protected by the castle. And as we know from the witch's castle and whatnot, it's filled with all these magical spells and things like that, so that it's easier for the witch to be able to fire off spells and to use their mana accurately. But without those things, it's like the witch is just at their base level, essentially. So what we saw in Bern from Manifansa burning the evils, we will not be seeing that anytime soon, because she doesn't have that type of amplification of her abilities at this point in time. So that's another thing that I want to note. And so now Fafnir, he's going through this, he's realizing, yo, like, Drake is right. And so Drake mentions that, hey, I'm a strong guardian. I'm from this place called Mur, I believe is what they was called. And in this place, or this city, I don't know if it's like a different city from Vern, where it's like they're a different entity entirely. But what I do know is that this place is the central. They're known for having really, really strong guardians and really strong witches. So Fafnir is getting washed right now. Fafnir is getting washed right now, and it's so bad. And so I just want to mention these things about Drake. Like, he seems very cunning. He's attentive. He's a guardian. He's a previous guardian, and it appears that, like, he keeps his witch's skeleton around him. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why he does this, but he does this, and he gives Fafnir basically a lesson, saying that you got 3 days to surpass me, or I'm getting rid of you, basically. And so I'll get into chapter 9 later on. I just want to really spend this time to focus on Drake and what he means to the story, right? So what I'm hoping is that he goes with Fafnir. He teaches him about what it means to be a guardian and a witch, because it seems that, like, he had a really strong connection with his witch at one point, and that guardians are usually supposed to be the ones that kill their witches so that their witches don't go out of whack and, like, go crazy and, like, destroy the talents that they're supposed to be protecting and whatnot. And witches' existence are pretty fucked up. So I'm really excited to see where we go with Drake, see what we learn about his backstory, see the backstory between him and his witch, and see where he takes Fafnir and Manifansa. Because the next chapter, and I'm not going to really go into too much detail, is he basically trains Fafnir. They have a whole training expedition and fight. And he explains, like, different things about the seeds and the witches' abilities and how guardians are able to fight with their witches and whatnot. So we get that in the next chapter. Let me know what you guys thought about this chapter. Chapter 8 was really good. Guardian of the Witch is pretty good. I gotta say, the art's a little clunky. It's not as fluid as I would like it to, but it's still good art. It's still good art. The settings still hit. The characters are very interesting. The character designs are very interesting. The world itself is interesting, and the evils themselves have really good designs. And I'm just excited to see where this series goes. So I'll be seeing you guys later on in my next chapter review. We'll be discussing chapter 9, the training between Drake's training. So I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.